This video is super important for anyone that has more than one website. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to consolidate control of all your websites in one control panel. So you're going to be able to log into one control panel, see all the updates that are available for all your websites. You could click one button and they will all be updated, plugins, themes, even WordPress itself. There's also other options in this tool. It's a completely free tool. I'm going to walk you through everything in this tutorial. And like I said, it's perfect for anyone that has more than one website, especially if you're an agency and you are managing multiple websites. Hi, my name is Adam from WPCrafter.com, where I teach non-techies how to use WordPress. And this is actually a very timely tutorial because just yesterday I was on Facebook and someone that I know, one of those internet friends, people you haven't met in person, but you talk to them on Facebook or whatever. I saw him post that all his websites were hacked into and he didn't know what to do. And since I am Facebook friends with the guy, I said, you know what? Just message me. I'm going to help you out. And when I jumped into his web hosting account to try to see what the heck happened, the reason all of his websites were hacked was because he was using an outdated version of a plugin called Ultimate Shortcodes. And so I went to Ultimate Shortcodes, where it's listed on WordPress.org, and I saw there was a serious security problem, and they patched it like 3 weeks ago, and whoever hacked into his websites used that vulnerability. And so I helped him, cleaned it all out. It took about 2 hours of time, but it was no big deal because I wanted to just help this guy out and get him back in business. That being said, my advice was him to start using this. He's not a web agency. He just has more than one website. And this is a tool for anyone that has more than one website so that you can keep tabs on it. So the name of the tool is MainWP. You can just go to MainWP, but it's in the WordPress repository. I'm going to show you how to install it and configure it. I just wanted to go through their website. They do have some extensions that you may want to consider down the line. I was just looking through the list today, and even though I've been using this tool for the last 3 years and I have access to all of the extensions, a lot of them you don't need, the vast majority of them. So I think the vast majority of people aren't going to need any of these paid extensions, but some of them you might want to know about for the future. So this is what this control panel is going to allow us to do. You can connect in unlimited WordPress websites. You can manage unlimited WordPress websites through this one tool. One thing I really like the most is you get one-click admin access. So right now, if you want to log into one of your websites, you have to type in that URL and then manually log in. But when it's connected in with this tool, you just go to the dashboard and you click one button on the site that you want and bam, you're immediately logged in. I really love that feature. It's super convenient because I don't know about you, but I tend to forget websites that I have, and that's what ends up happening. You forget you have a website, it doesn't get updated, and that's when things start to break loose. Centralized management, multiple backup solutions, I'll talk about that. Plugin and theme management, this is big. User management, content management, I don't use it for that. Uptime monitoring, I don't use it for that. And security and vulnerability checks. So you can see the list of the features that it has. Now let me go here to show you the various extensions that are available, and I'll just talk through them. A couple of them that you will need, they're actually free, so I'll show you those, but I just want to talk through the various add-ons, extensions that are available, just so you know that they're there. I think there's a couple that are really good if you're an agency, but you can maybe purchase them down the line once you're managing like 10 or so websites. So here's an advanced uptime monitor. This is free and it integrates with Uptime Robot. This is actually kind of cool, but it is a little duplicating because you still have to manually add the website into Uptime Robot, but it is really cool. So you can say you had 10 websites, you can look at the uptime just by glancing. Article Uploader, I don't use this. Backup WordPress. Now, some of these extensions, what they're going to add to it is the ability to use third-party plugins on your website. And, you know, for example, Updrafts, it's a backup plugin, and there's several settings you need to click. Well, what this will allow you to do is automatically configure all those settings in one click. So you can have, you know, so you say you have 10 websites and they're all using Updrafts, and you think, I want to change a setting. Instead of manually going to each website and changing the setting, you can just do it in MainWP and it will push that change out. So there's some time-saving features. So here's a free extension that works with a free plugin called Backup WordPress. That's nice that it's actually free. Here's another one that works with a different backup solution. Here's a free one that works with Blog Vault. Here's a boilerplate extension. What this does is I don't use this either. It allows you to create commonly used pages on your sites, like a privacy support policy, term of use, stuff like that. I don't necessarily use that. Branding. This is actually for people that have clients that are actually logging into the websites. You may want to consider this. Will allow you to change the branding of the plugin you have to have installed on the websites you're managing. It's cool. And you can also, I think with this, you can also change other things in WordPress to kind of change the look of it a little bit. It's up to you if you're one of those people that really likes white label stuff. But I find even when you give a website over to a client and you're managing it for them, I find that they don't ever log in. So I don't necessarily see this as crucial, but it's definitely up to you. Broken Leaks Checker, I've never used that. Bulk Settings Manager. This is actually really good to change settings in bulk across all of your websites. Clean and Lock, this is free. This is one that you're going to want. Essentially, since MainWP, the main centralized dashboard, just gets installed on a WordPress website, I like to have a dedicated WordPress install for it. So what this will allow you to do is if someone was to visit, and I'm going to demonstrate it, was to visit that separate WordPress website, they wouldn't see anything. It would just redirect them to the main one. And I'm going to explain that and configure that in this video. Client reports. This is one you're probably going to want if you are an agency and you have several clients. What this will do is allow you it'll automate generating reports, and it will do cool things like pull in analytics and changes and updates made and all that. And send it in an automated fashion. That way your clients know you're actually doing something if you're charging them a monthly fee to manage the website, and you are. Clone, I don't actually use this. This will allow you to clone a website that you have. I had some problems with it. I rather just manually do it with Updrafts or all-in-one migration. Code snippets, this is nice. I've actually never used it, and this allows you to add little snippets to the various websites that you're managing. Comments, I don't use this. I get an email notification from my WordPress website when there's a comment, and then I log in and respond to it. Maybe if this is helpful, if you're managing a lot of websites for clients and those notifications aren't coming to you and you just want to see the comments and maybe respond to them from the centralized control panel. However, I find most websites don't really get any comments unless they're spam comments, which you wouldn't get as long as you put some kind of spam blocking plugin. Here's an extension for managing custom post types. This would be creating and publishing content to custom post types. Never used that. Favorites. This is actually kind of neat. So you can have favorite plugins that you want to install on websites. So it makes it easier to install a bunch of plugins on a brand new website you're adding to MainWP to manage. I've used that a couple times actually. File uploader. This is just to upload a file to a website. Analytics. This is cool. I just manually log into analytics. You can see I'm showing you intentionally that a lot of these extensions you probably don't need. So iTheme Security, I do like this one. When I install iTheme Security on a new site that I'm adding to the network, it'll configure it just the way I like it. So it saves me the manual hassle of manually configuring iTheme's security. I do like this. And it is helpful if you want to change a setting. You just change it in MainWP and it pushes that change out to all your sites that you have iTheme's security on. Links Manager, don't use that. Maintenance, this is okay, but I use maintenance from a different plugin. So I've never used the maintenance actually for this. But if you don't have a plugin that's already providing these basic maintenance type of processes, it would be nice to have. Okay, MainWP Buddy, this is to manage Backup Buddy. Page speed, I don't use this either because you have to have a plugin installed on the site, and this kind of pulls in that information. Pwik, it's like Google Analytics. Post Stripper, I don't use MainWP to push content out. I rather just go to these websites and put the content in directly. So Post Stripper, you can have it drip feed out posts to your websites. Post Plus, WP Rocket, that I do use and I do like because that's a caching plugin. I have that on all my websites. If I ever want to change something or push a configuration, I can easily do that right here. Spinner, don't use that. I don't like spinning. Security, this is actually cool that it's here for free and it will do like a malware scanning. I don't use the free service anyway. Team Control, if you do have an agency and you want someone else to be able to log in and manage it without giving them the whole keys to the kingdom, you might want the Team Control. That is pretty cool when you're at that size or need it. Updrafts Plus, I do like this. Oh, I didn't actually realize it's free. So this is actually going to be really good. I didn't know it was free. That is sweet. So essentially, this is going to allow you to configure updrafts on all your websites. And if you have been paying attention to this channel, I recommend everyone use updrafts. It's a free backup plugin. That's fantastic. URL extractor, never use that. Vulnerability checker, that's probably cool. And that's also free. WooCommerce shortcuts, WooCommerce status. This might be cool if you're managing a lot of WooCommerce websites and you want to see snapshots of sales and things of that nature. WordFence, I don't use WordFence, but that will control that. Sorry, guys. WordPress SEO for same thing, managing that. And here's something for getting some help. So sorry, this video is getting a little long. Let's just get into the meat and potatoes of it. But I just wanted to show you this for a reason. I wanted you to know that this tutorial and everything I'm showing you, it's all free. There's no cost to anything. And later down the line, if you wanted one or two of these, you could get it. They also have a membership plan. And, you know, I do have the lifetime membership. It was $400, I think. Wow, it's pretty expensive, but I've been using it for 3 years, so I definitely think I've received my money's worth out of it. Okay, so there's two ways to install this. Essentially, the control panel is just a plugin. Now, you could put it on your main website if you want. I don't like doing that. I like to maybe keep it separate, but it's your choice, okay? So there's a couple things you can do. You can install it on your main website if you wanted to. Number two, if you've heard me talk about Local by Flywheel. It's this app right here. Let me pull it up. Local by Flywheel, and it installs WordPress on your local machine. You can actually use this for reaching out and managing your websites out on the internet if you want. And I actually did this for some of the time that I've used MainWP. Or the third option, which I'm going to show you in this video, is to create what's called a subdomain, install WordPress there, and install MainWP there. And that's how I use it. So I would do dashboard. The URL would be the name of the URL.com, and that's where I would go to manage everything. So I'm logged into a web hosting account that I have with InMotion, and this is where I'm going to do. So I'm going to jump into cPanel, and so any hosting account, you probably already know how to install WordPress, but I want to show you how I add a subdomain and then install WordPress. So essentially, all these cPanels are going to look the same. So you just want to scroll down to where it says subdomains right here. And so I'm going to create a subdomain. Now what happens is first we enter what we want the first part of that domain to be. And then right here we have the second part of that domain, which is your domain name. Now if you have more than one domain name on your hosting account, this will show you a list of them. So I'm going to go ahead and enter dashboard. Okay, now when I enter that and I click away, it's going to show me what it's going to look like, dashboard.show the demo. And all I have to do is go ahead and click on create. and it's going to go ahead and create this subdomain for me, and then I'll be able to install WordPress on it. So here it is, success dashboard.showthedemo.com has been created. So I'm going to click on go back, and actually I don't need to do that. I want to click on home. I'm sorry, I want to get back into my cPanel. Okay, so now you can install WordPress the way you like to do it. I like to do it with Softaculous, and it is right here, Softaculous. So I'm going to click on WordPress. It takes me right into Softaculous. I'm going to go ahead, click on install. Now for here, what I would suggest, if your web host provides free SSL certificates, and InMotion is one of those web hosting companies that does provide free SSL certificates, I would go ahead and install it on HTTPS. So for me, I think I can go back here to cPanel. Actually, it was right here. I'm sorry. So I go here and I can go to manage free SSL basic like this, and I can actually enable the free SSL certificate right here. Actually, it's automatically going to install it. Sorry, because I had this enabled. So it's automatically going to put that free SSL certificate in for me. Okay, sorry for getting sidetracked there. I just wanted to show you that it's probably a good idea to use the SSL certificate if your web host provides a free one. And InMotion does. GoDaddy doesn't. There's so many that don't, but there's good ones out there that do. All the hosts that I recommend, I will only recommend a host that gives you free SSL certificates. You can visit ordernewhosting.com to see a list of them. Okay, click on install now. HTTPS is perfect. So now I'm going to choose the domain, but I need to choose that subdomain that I just created. So it's dashboard show the demo. And so I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. I just need to put a username and a password in, and then I'll go ahead and click on that install button. Okay, I've filled that out, my admin account right there. And Softaculous, depending on what host you have, it might try to install an additional plugin or so. And so this one's trying to install WP Forms Lite. I'm going to uncheck that because I don't want to install anything. I'll go ahead and click on install. It's just going to take a moment or two, and it's going to install that for me. Now I will say sometimes when you add a new SSL certificate, it might take a little bit of time to propagate or go into effect. So we're going to see if it's working for me. If not, I might get some warnings temporarily. Okay, so it looks like my installation is done, and so I'm going to go ahead and click where it says administrative URL, and hopefully this works. Yeah, so my SSL certificate is not working just yet, but I can click on advanced and I can click on proceed, which is totally fine, and it's going to take me right in. So here we go. Now I'm going to go ahead to plugins, click on add new, and let's do a search for MainWP. Okay, when you do the search, we're going to see the various plugins that are available. So MainWP dashboard is what we want to install here. Now on each of the sites that we're going to manage through MainWP, we want to install this MainWP child. So I'm on the dashboard. I'm going to use MainWP dashboard. Now, as I scroll down, we have these two additional plugins that are freely available here. Those free ones that I showed you on MainWP's website, you actually have to get an account on their website in order to install those. Okay, so we have MainWP child reports. I actually do not know what this is. I think I know what it is. This will track the changes that actually happen from a settings level, like auditing everything on the child websites. And then we have this thing called MainWP Keymaker. I'm surprised they actually offer this for free. This is more advanced. I'm not going to go over it in this video, and that's because I haven't even really used it myself. But the concept behind it is with this, and it's a little complicated to use, you can actually automate the settings, configuring the settings of any plugin you use in WordPress using this free plugin right here. And it looks like that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and install this dashboard and give you a quick look around on that. It's just going to take a moment to install, and then I'm going to go ahead and install the child plugin on a website and automate some backups. Okay, I just activated it. Wow, this is actually new. I'm glad what more plugins are doing this, having some kind of an onboarding process. I've never gone through it with MainWP because I installed it 3 years ago. So it looks like it's going to take us through all of these steps. So let's just go through it together. I'll go ahead and click on Let's Go, and it's asking me, oh, this is very good, where I'm installing this. So I'm actually installing it on the web host, but I told you could also do it on a local host. So I'll go ahead and click on Continue. Now what it's doing is it's checking certain things on your web hosting account, and it's basically saying what is the PHP version, is there SSL, all this kind of stuff. It's all there. It's checking all your versions. I've got a pass on all of them. Sweet. Let's click on Continue. Now there's little tweaks it'll make based upon your hosting account. So by default, you would choose the type of hosting you have. So I am on a shared hosting, and this is where you tell it how many child sites you're planning on managing. It's definitely less than 50. I'll click on Continue. And so now we're going to optimization. Now what this is asking is if I want to hide from Google or a bot that I'm using MainWP. I actually do have this enabled on where I use it. So I'm going to click on yes, but you would want to read this and make that decision for yourself. Now, what this is asking, and this is one of the things I really like about MainWP and why I want it on the internet, is it can automatically do these updates for you. You don't have to log into it and click on update. It'll manually scan these websites daily, and it will manually add these updates. And what you could do is you can say, you can mark plugins as do not update, which means you're considering it one of those plugins you don't want it to automatically update because maybe you've had problems with it in the past. So what this is saying is for the MainWP child plugin, do you want this to be a trusted update? Meaning you're saying this update, you're free to update this automatically without me. So let's leave that to yes, of course. Notifications. This you're definitely going to want to turn on. Essentially what happens is when MainWP automatically scans all your child websites to find updates, it'll let you know if there's updates. You'll get an email. I like that. So click on yes and put in your best contact email where you know you're going to see it. Sometimes I don't like getting automatic emails, I'll tell you that. It could get a little annoying, but something as important as this, I think it's really good. So right now it's actually asking you if you're going to use MainWP for backups, and it's giving you the option of one of these free extensions to manage these backup plugins. A little backstory, MainWP used to do its own backups, and over time, it's not an easy task to have a backup plugin because there's so many different hosting environments. So what ends up happening is it was problematic. And so they instead decided to allow you to use these free plugins and then just control the settings through MainWP. So here are the various plugins. I recommend Updrafts, so I'm going to leave that enabled, and it's a free extension. I'm assuming it's automatically going to add it for me. So let's go ahead and click on continue. Now right here is what I was saying when I was showing you those free extensions on MainWP's website, that you actually need an account there that you would put in here in order to download those free extensions. And if you bought something in the future, those as well. So because I said, yes, we want to make backups, and I chose the updrafts, right here it's essentially saying you just got to make a free account in order to download these because they're not in the repo for whatever reason, and that's okay. So you just want to click on this green button, and it says it's going to take you over to their website. So when I click on it, it opens in a new tab. So you're still here at this step. And right here, if you didn't want to, you could click here to, wow, I actually didn't read this. It says, if you prefer to register later, I can click here to automatically download and install the extension. That's pretty cool. Let's just do that for sake of time. Although there's no problem with using setting up an account with them and getting the plugin that way. And it's good because right now it doesn't look like it actually worked. That's okay. I'm going to click on continue. We'll circle around back to this. Now, on this step where it's talking about the WP Cron, this is a technical thing that all kind of web apps have. It's called a cron. Now, what a cron does is it automates processes. And so one of the automated processes in here is to go to the child sites and to see what updates need to be done or are available and to do it. And so that's called a cron. Now, crons need triggers. And so right here, the way WordPress triggers crons is WordPress, as soon as it gets, say, some traffic on the website, that's when a cron gets triggered. This is saying, let's instead, since this is going to be a separate site, you're not going to get any traffic on it, that cron might trigger at irregular times. So what this is saying is, why don't you set up an Uptime Robot account? What Uptime Robot does is it checks your website every 5 minutes to see if it's online. That would be the traffic that would trigger the cron. I'm going to actually skip this step. I would recommend that you set up Uptime Robot. In fact, I have a video. If you search my videos or my website for how to monitor uptime, or just search for monitor uptime, I have a full tutorial video on how to set up Uptime Robot, and I strongly urge you have Uptime Robot on all of your websites so that you can know immediately if there's any downtime. You also get to know how well your web hosting company is doing. So I'm going to just click on continue. Let's see if it lets me move forward. Now, I really like this step. So what this is saying is, since I'm using this plugin on a dedicated WordPress installation, I'm not going to use posts and pages and media and appearance and all those normal WordPress settings. So if you're doing it like I am, I can actually just have it automatically hide these unused portions of WordPress that I'm not going to use. So I don't need to see the dashboard, the posts, the media, pages, appearance, comments, users, or tools, because I'm just using this WordPress install for MainWP. This is going to clean it all up for me. And then there's this separate sidebar navigation just for MainWP. This is how I use it. You can actually change this later in the settings if you want, but you wouldn't want to do this if you're putting MainWP like on your main website, because then now you're going to not see those options in the sidebar. So I'm going to click on continue. I do think it's best to use MainWP on its own WordPress installation though. Okay, so we're at the end here and it says add a new site. So let's click that. And here we are. So this is now what this WordPress installation looks like, and it's taking you into a tour. So essentially what we need to do is we need to put the URL here of the site we're adding. We need to put the username right here for it. Right here you would put a friendly name. So this is when you're looking at a list of websites, this can be the name that you actually see there. And this is good if you have tons of websites. You can group your websites right here, but we need this child unique security ID right here. I'm actually going to end this tour and I'm going to go ahead and add this first website. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you how to do it from scratch. So here is what your MainWP dashboard now looks like. It's pretty slick if you ask me. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of these notices. So right here it's saying, do we want to allow auto updates of MainWP child? Let's just turn that on and try to get rid of this notice. And right here it is, oops, let's go up here. And here's the last one. It's basically saying, it's funny that it's saying it now. Basically, it's saying my advice of install this on its own WordPress installation. So I'm just going to go ahead and click there. So now we kind of have a free, clean website. So I can click on overview and see an overview of my websites. And right here, it lets you know when the last sync was done. This is syncing is when it checks the website, your child websites for you for updates and things like that. And here's some snapshots of it. I don't have any websites in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right here where it says sites, and I'm going to click on add new. And this is the process of adding a new website. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling this out, but I'm not going to have this unique security ID because I need to get that from the child site. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay, so I just put in my URL and I put in my username and my friendly site name. It just auto-generated that. That's fine. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to add the MainWP client plugin. So here I am on the website. I'm going to add showthedemo.com. I've been using this for a lot of demos. You can see the website needs some updates too. So I'm going to go to plugins, add new, and I'm going to type in MainWP. Now this time I need to install the child plugin, and this is what you're going to install on all the websites you want to manage. I'll go ahead and click on install now, and then when I activate it, it's going to give me a unique code that I need to copy and paste into the dashboard plugin or app or whatever we're calling it. So here it is. It's giving you this warning now as soon as you activate it, and that's because now anyone that has that unique ID, which no one would even have it anyway, they can now connect into your website. So you don't want to activate the child plugin and then not do the other part, which is actually finish connecting it to the dashboard. Okay. So it's giving you that warning. So it used to actually show the ID I needed to copy and paste right here, but it's actually not doing that. So I'm going to go to settings, main child, and see if that's where it's going to give me my ID. Oh, I see. I could actually connect it without the unique security ID. That's what this is saying. So I forgot that the unique security ID was actually an optional thing. But I would actually think you would want that by default. So I'm assuming I can click add new site and it will connect, but I rather use that unique ID. So I think I want to go ahead and click here, require unique security ID, click on save changes. And I'm assuming there it is. It's going to give it to me. And then when I take this code, I can go ahead and paste it right here, like this, and then click on add new site. Now what it's going to do is right here, it will let you, it's checking the website and it will let you know if it's connected properly. Now it's not connecting properly for me because I actually put an email address for the administrator username. I didn't actually use the username. And that is because I don't remember what the username is, which is a big problem. So let me go here and get the username real quick. And it's this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and I'm going to paste that username in. You should know what your usernames are. I just use that for testing, so I'm being a bad example here. All right, now when I click on add new site, it's saying adding the site to MainWP. And there it is. So now I have my site here. And so what's going to happen is you're going to see right here a list of your websites. And right here will be the name of the site and the URL. If I wanted to jump right into the admin, I can do that right here. And what this for means is this. So if I'm here on the WordPress website, you see right there, I have 4 updates that need to happen here. Now, actually, if I do a refresh, you're going to see this attention go away because it knows it's now connected to MainWP. All of it's done. I now have connected this website to MainWP. So here I am on MainWP. I can click on Overview again and check this out. When I click on Overview right here, it says there's 4 updates available. And so if I had this connected to 10 websites and there's 30 updates available, that's what it would show me. It says there's 3 plugin updates and 1 theme update. And when I click on this, I can see what the plugins are. And so here's the 3 plugins that need an update. And the same goes for theme updates right here. Also, if I had any WordPress updates, it would show that right here. Now, what's nice is I can just click on update everything. And why not do that? I'll click on update everything. And then I'm going to click on OK. And what it's going to do is it's now going to go into my child websites that have updates that are needed. And it's going to go ahead and do those updates all automatically for me. I love that. And so in the beginning of this video, I told you about that situation where I helped someone whose websites were hacked. Well, if he was using MainWP, he had known about it and was using MainWP, then he would have easily been able to have an easier way to keep tabs on all of his websites. One click, update everything, like you just saw me do. And here it is. It says you've just updated 1 site, 4 total updates in 22 seconds. So here I am. If I do a refresh, we should see this go away. Let's do that. And that's because MainWP just updated everything on this website for me. So if I close out that tab and close out this tab, here's one of the convenience features that I like of MainWP. I can click on sites right here, and I can click on manage sites. Well, it automatically takes me there, and I can see my list of websites. What I can do right here is click on open WP area, and it just takes me straight on into the website. So if I have 20 websites, it's kind of a pain in the butt to have to type in the URL for the website you want to go in, then type your username and type your password. When you have it done this way, you one click and you're right on in there to the website. So there it is. So here is all of the various settings that we get with MainWP. Let me just go through some of them really quick. If you want to add a new website, you go to Sites, Add New, and you saw how I connected it. You basically fill out the information, then you install the client plugin on the website you want to control, generate that security key, copy and paste it in, connections done. You now have a centralized place to stay on top of everything. Okay, you can group them if you want. Posts and pages. I don't actually use this to create a post or a page and push it out to the child websites. You can do that if you wanted to, and that's what this is. You can manage themes. So I just clicked on themes. So you can manage the themes on these websites. You can install. You can do so many things with it. I think the plugins one I want to take a look at because that is a bit more practical. So let's click on manage plugins. So right here, I can do a search for a plugin and I can manage it on these websites. So I can disable or delete plugins on all of my websites on my network if I wanted to. I like this install tab right here. What this is going to allow me to do is literally install a new plugin on all of the websites I select. So right here on the right, so here on the left, I would choose the plugin. Here on the right, I would choose the websites that I wanted. And if I had 10 websites, I could just click all and it will install this plugin automatically on all of these websites for me. So if you have 10 websites in here and they don't have backup, you can enter updrafts right here where it says search plugins. So I entered updraft. I can go ahead right here, click on install this plugin, and then I can click on this checkbox, and then right here I can click on complete installation, and it's going to go ahead and install it on all the websites that I checked the box on. And also, if we had the MainWP Updrafts plugin, I could configure them all at the same time as well. All right, so I think there's a way to, there it is. This is really cool, and I've used this. So not only can you mass install a plugin from the WordPress repository, you can also mass install a plugin where you have the zip file downloaded. So you just click right here where it says upload zip, drag and drop it here, and you can push it out. This is good if you are wanting to update a plugin manually. What you could do is you would do the same thing. You would upload it, but there's this box right here that says overwrite existing plugin if already installed. So what that means is, say you have an old version of a plugin on all these websites, a new version is out, you don't have auto updates, you can automatically update them all through this. It will just update them all for you with the version that you upload here. That I think is a huge time saver. Okay, so there's some other tabs here for that. I really love it. User settings. Let's just take a quick look at the settings and kind of wrap this video up. I think you're seeing the power of using this, the simplicity of it. It's really simple. You're just installing the dashboard and installing one plugin on the websites, and now you can manage them all, and it's worth your time. So we're going to have lots of options here that you can tweak. Now, a lot of these options we actually set and configured in that onboarding process where we went through all the various steps, okay? So there's nothing really new here. There is something that I want to find, and that is the option to automatically perform the updates for you. So let me just spend a minute, click around, find that setting for you. Okay, I found it. Sorry, this is where it was, and I'm assuming the same setting would be available in themes. So you go to plugins, and then you would go where it says auto updates, obviously. And here's the tab auto updates, and it gives you some information on how you want the auto updating to work. So right here it says we have this option, tell the dashboard what to do with trusted plugins. Okay, plugin automatically daily updates, install trusted updates, or do you not want it to automatically install the updates? Do you want it instead to email you a notification? Or do you want it to automatically not, actually that makes no sense. Do you want it to not automatically install updates? And some of you might want that fine control to have it not automatically install updates, and this is where you would go ahead and set that. I have been using the automatic updates, and I actually like it a lot. So it looks like right here it's automatically going to update trusted updates, and so I don't realize if you have to mark one trusted or not. I think they're all trusted unless you mark it as untrusted. You'll actually have to use it to see how that works for you. Actually, if I would just read a little further, it's right here. Decide which of your plugins to mark as trusted. So this is actually interesting. So I'm going to click on show plugins, and this is probably this will show you all the plugins you have installed across your network of websites, and you can choose what would be trusted and automatically updated automatically for you. So if you wanted them all, you can just check here, and all of these will be automatically updated for you. So say you wanted to remove one of these, you don't want it automatically updated, say Elementor, you would check this box, and now Elementor will not be automatically updated. You're typically, maybe if you wanted, you would be not automatically updating a plugin that might have had some issues updating in the past, where there's an update and something breaks. Maybe it's a plugin you're dependent upon, but sometimes the developer doesn't release reliable updates. Then you might, in those scenarios, you might not want it to automatically update. And this is what you would want to do to choose what gets automatically updated. I love the flexibility and the power there. So, okay, this video is already way longer than I wanted it to be. I will go ahead and wrap it up right now. I really want you to consider using this. If you have more than one website, it's going to be a lot easier. Don't be like my poor friend on Facebook who he had like 10 or 15 websites, and he didn't have a centralized way of managing it, so certain updates did not happen, and because of that, all his websites got hacked into because of the vulnerability that was there, and it took a lot of time to clean it up. But worse off, his websites were down for 2 days because the web host has to take those websites down. I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to control all your websites in one location. I want you to use updrafts and have a backup. I want you to use iTheme security and have all your websites have that extra layer of security. And the best thing is all those 3 things I listed, they don't cost you a penny. It's just going to take a little bit of time to implement it, but you're going to be set up right. It's the stack that I've been using for years. So since I didn't say it in the beginning of the video, if you're new here and you like valuable tutorials like this, consider clicking on the subscribe button. If you don't want to miss a thing, click on the bell off to the right, and YouTube will let you know when I upload new tutorials like this. So if you have any questions about MainWP, or you want to suggest an alternative solution, go ahead and leave that in the comments section down below. I do want to say there are alternatives. I made a video on all the alternatives before, and I said why I chose to use MainWP, and I've used other solutions, but I think MainWP, I really like it, and I've been using it for years, and I've used other solutions. You can check out that video if you want. It's how to manage more than one website with WordPress and a centralized dashboard, something along those lines. Anyways, this video has already been too long. Thank you for watching, sticking with me for this long, and I will see you in the next tutorial video.